मैं हूँ रश्मि चौधरी एंड वेलकम टू दिस वीडियो सीरीज। यहाँ हम कवर करेंगे नितिन सिंघानिया की आर्ट एंड कल्चर की फिफ्थ एडिशन जो कि लेटेस्ट एडिशन है। इस किताब को हम थॉरली रीड करेंगे, जहाँ ज़रूरत पड़ेगी समझाएंगे भी, और साथ ही यूपीएससी और स्टेट पीएससीज में आए हुए प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करेंगे। इस सीरीज में एक वीडियो 30 से 35 मिनट्स की होगी, बट इफेक्टिव होगी। 40 से 45 लेक्चर्स में पूरी किताब कवर हो जाएगी। अगर आपने ये सीरीज 3 से 4 बार देख ली तो बिल्कुल ये किताब आपके दिमाग में छप जाएगी एंड योर एक्यूरेसी विल डेफिनेटली इंक्रीज। ऑल्सो आपका रिवीजन काफी आसान हो जाएगा। तो अगर आपको रिवीजन के साथ साथ वैल्यू एडिशन भी करना है तो ये सीरीज पूरी फॉलो करें। आपको बस अपने पास ये किताब रख कर मुझे सुनना है और इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स मार्क करने हैं। सो विदाउट एनी फर्दर डिले लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड।
हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल घटना सूत्र। यहाँ हम कवर कर रहे हैं नितिन सिंघानिया के आर्ट एंड कल्चर की फिफ्थ एडिशन की किताब। और हमने चैप्टर 15 विच इज अबाउट ट्रेड्स एंड ट्रेडर्स, ये हमने इसका ये चैप्टर स्टार्ट किया है एंड होपफुली आज ये चैप्टर हम कंप्लीट कर लेंगे। तो लेट्स कंटिन्यू विद गुप्ता पीरियड। ड्यूरिंग द गुप्ता डायनेस्टी इंडस्ट्री एंड ट्रेड जनरली thrived. The decline of Roman trade was the most noteworthy feature of the international trade in this period. The Guptas issued a substantial number of gold coins. नीति सारा written by Kamandak. ये बीपीएससी 2023 में पूछा जा चुका है कि नीति सारा किसने लिखी है, तो it is written by Kamandak. Is a treatise on politics and statecraft. It highlighted the importance of royal treasury and threw light on various sources of revenue. The Jambudvipa Prajnapti and the Mahavastu in the Gupta period mention various types of guilds. The Jambudvipa Prajnapti mentions 18 traditional guilds like potter, silk weavers, जिनको पटाइला बोलते थे, cooks, suvakara, and singers, गंधर्व. The Guptas issued the largest number of gold coins. They were called dinars. तो gold coins को गुप्ता पीरियड में क्या बोला जाता था? dinars बोला जाता था. ये क्वेश्चन यूपीपीसीएस 1992 में आ चुका है. There were two distinct types of traders, Sresti and Sarthavaha. Sresti was settled in a specific location. During the Gupta period, the caravan traders called Sarthavaha traded merchandise to different places for profit. अब ये सार्थवाह कौन सी वर्ण होगी? ये क्वेश्चन एमपीपीसीएस 2018 में आया हुआ है, जिसमें आंसर था ऑब्वियसली वैश्यस, क्योंकि ये बिजनेसमैन थे. Trade items included horses, peppers, sandalwood, elephants, gold, iron, etc. The trade was carried out with Ceylon, China, and Europe. The trading activities with the Roman Empire declined during Gupta period. The Southeast Asia became a trade center for them. Due to the endeavor of the Buddhist monks, Indian culture penetrated to Central Asia and China in the Gupta and the post-Gupta period. The accounts of Chinese pilgrims affirm Indian ships sailed to the Indonesia and China frequently. These routes were used correspondingly by Buddhist pilgrims and Indian traders. In the middle of the 7th century, the Chinese lost their sway on Central Asia, but its relation with India was maintained through the sea route. Next, if we talk about Uttar Pat and Dakshin Pat, so two grand trade routes of ancient India were Uttar Path of North and Northwest India and Dakshin Path of Central and South India. Along these trade routes, people, ideas, and merchandise moved, and cultural ideas were exchanged. Uttar Path connected Gandhar, present-day Kandahar in Afghanistan, in the northwest, through Takshina with Lahore, Delhi, Prayag, Varanasi, Nalanda, Patliputra, and ended at the port of Lipta in the Bay of Bengal. Himalayan section of the road was called Himavat Path. Himavat Path. Coast minars were the milestones. Each minar marked one coast, 2 miles. Coast minars dotted the Uttar Path, particularly along the Grand Trunk Road during Sher Suri's time. Buddhism at the time proliferated rapidly via road networks. The Dakshin Path was the name of the southern highway. It originated from the Varanasi and connected Ujjaini and Narmada Valley to Pratisthana Pathan in the Mahajanpad of Asmaka. It also connected roads to the Cholas, Sheras, and Pandyas. Uttar Path and Dakshin Path met at Prayag, Varanasi. Next is Indo-Roman trade. So Indo-Roman trade started through the caravan routes via Asia Minor and the Middle East via the Red Sea around 30 BC during the reign of Augustus and his conquest of Egypt. According to the ancient Greek and the Latin texts, the links between Red Sea and India existed from early times, and they flourished from 1st century BC. The Tamil Sangam literature, Prakrit inscriptions, and ample numismatics come with sufficient evidence of this trade. Roman demand for pepper, spices, pearls, semi-precious stones, and textiles increased. They were imported from South Asia and exchanged for high-value coins. A comprehensive discussion on ancient Indo-Roman trade is available in Strabo's Geographica. The Periplus Maris Erythrae, Pliny's Naturalis Historia, और ये नेचुरलिस्ट हिस्टोरिया ये किसने लिखा है? प्लाइनी ने लिखा है। ये यूपीपीसीएस 2015 में आ चुका क्वेश्चन है। द पेरिप्लस ऑफ द इराइथियन सी, द टोलेमीज, ज्योग्राफी, सेकेंड सेंचुरी एडी, ये बुक्स के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन दी गई है। There is also evidence of animal trade between Indian harbors and the Mediterranean ports. The Roman ports associated with eastern trades were Arsino, Berenice, Meos, Hormuz, etc. Many Roman traders started their voyage from Berenice, and this port was famous for trade with Egypt in the first century CE. The regional ports involved with Roman trade were Barbaricum, Karachi, Sonagora, Barigaza, present-day Bharuch in Gujarat. Muziris, also called Muchiri Port, ये CSE 2023 में आ चुका है कि ये सब क्या है। तो मुचीरी भी एक था जिसमें से पूछा गया था ये सब क्या है, पोर्ट्स हैं या फिर और भी ऑप्शंस थे। तो these were the ports. Kaveri and Arikamedu, Tamil Nadu. Muziris on the southwestern coast of India was a major trade center between the Chera kingdom and the Roman Empire. Large hoards of coins and numerous shards of amphorae have been found in the town of Pattanam. The Periplus Maris Erythrae refers to a market place named Poduke, which has been identified as possibly Erikamedu in Tamil Nadu. ये क्वेश्चन यूपीपीसीएस 1997 में डायरेक्टली आया हुआ है, तो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. It was a center of early Chola trade. Indo-Roman trade declined from the mid 3rd century due to a crisis in the Roman Empire. The sea route from Rome to India was closed down. In India, Hunner invasion in the second half of the 5th century CE damaged India's trade with Europe and Central Asia. The Gupta Empire benefited to a great extent from Indo-Roman trade, but the Hunner invasions disrupted these trade linkages and they rushed down the tax revenues that came with it. यहाँ पे आपको ट्रेड रूट दिखाया हुआ है एशिया का 400 AD में. After the discovery of monsoon winds, traders used to build large ships and there was great improvement in commerce. The pirates of the Konkan and the coast are mentioned in many sources. The pepper trade was monopolized by Cheras and the pearl trade was carried on mainly by the Pandyas. Black pepper found an important place in the trade between India and Rome. अब ब्लैक पेपर को बोला जाता था यवना प्रिय. ये क्वेश्चन सीएसई 1995 में आया हुआ है, so this term must be noted here. According to Sangam literature, the Greek merchants bought black pepper for gold. The Romans imported tortoise shell of Indian Ocean and chaplets made in India. Trade items exported from Rome to India were glassware, lamps, corals, and wine. India exported to Rome ginger, cardamom, different kinds of woods like teak for making ships, sandalwood, ebony, black wood, and rosewood for making फर्नीचर। मुजीरिस पेपायरस papyrus जो बोल लीजिए, the Muziris papyrus used to be a loan agreement signed between a financier from Alexandria and a merchant for an expedition to Muziris. It is a crucial primary document which records Kerala's maritime cultural linkages in the second century AD. तो ये सब terminologies पूछ लिए जाते हैं. So this must be taken care of. ये आप ध्यान रखें. Tabula Peutingeriana or Peutinger table. It was an ancient Roman road map, 4th century AD, or illustrated road network of the Roman Empire. Next is Poom Puhar. Poom Puhar, also known as Kaveri Poom Pattinam, has references in the Tamil epic Manika Mekalai. It had seaborne commercial links with Southeast Asia and Egypt. According to S.M. Ramaswamy, a major finding based on a study of the past sea levels in the Poom Puhar is not just 2500 years old, as believed widely, and might be more than 15,000 years old. It might be one of the oldest port cities in the world. और इसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन कि ये पोर्ट सिटी है, ये CSE 2023 में पूछा जा चुका है, तो दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट. एंशियंट सिल्क रूट एंड कल्चरल एक्सचेंज. The ancient Silk Route was a network of trade routes that was active from the 2nd century BC to the mid 15th century. It is connected. It connected Indian subcontinent, China, Central Asia, and the Mediterranean. The ships also sailed directly following the annual trade winds across the Indian Ocean. The name Silk Road came from the lucrative trade of silk or textile that were fabricated almost exclusively in China. The road network began with the Han Dynasty's extension into Central Asia around 114 BC. These routes were crucial for the trade of textiles, spices, precious and semi-precious stones, and other luxury items that were highly valued in the ancient world. अब सिल्क से रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन जिसमें टर्मिनोलॉजी पूछी गई थी कि कौशिया इसमें से किसको बोलते हैं. ये यूपीपीसीएस 2008 का क्वेश्चन है एंड कौशिया सिल्क का ही पुराना नाम है. तो दिस मस्ट बी नोटेड हियर. यहाँ पे आपको सिल्क रोड दिखाया गया है. In India, the ancient Silk Road covered mainly Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Punjab, Maharashtra, Puducherry, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, and Uttarakhand. The 12 main Silk Road sites on the tentative list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites: ruins of ancient Vaisali, Bihar; remains of Vikramshila Ancient University, Bihar; Buddhist remains of Kushinagar, UP; Shravasti, UP; Kausambi, UP; Achi Chhatra, UP; ancient site and Buddhist stupa, Punjab; Arikamedu, Puducherry; excavated remains of Kaveri Pattanam, Tamil Nadu; ancient monastery and stupa at Harwan, Jammu and Kashmir; Burud Kot, Maharashtra; and Indraprasth, Delhi. These sites of the Silk Route played a noteworthy role in the cultural exchange and facilitated the exchange of ideas, customs, trades, religion, and artistic techniques. Buddhism, for instance, spread to Central Asia and China through the Silk Route. Ladakh was a central point on the Silk Route between India and Central Asia. This region was an important center for Buddhism, and many Buddhist monasteries and cultural sites are situated in Ladakh that were connected to the Silk Route. Ruins of ancient Vaishali, Kolhua, remains of Kutagarshala, swastika shaped monastery, cluster of votive stupas, miniature shrines, etc., have been unearthed in Kolhua. The main components of the structure and the antiques belong to the Maurya and the post Gupta periods. Buddhist remains of Kushinagar. The site comprises the main stupa and Nirvana temple with other surrounding monuments, the shrine called Mathakuar. The Mathakuar shrine, a colossal statue of Buddha, locally called Mathakuar, is installed in the Kushinagar. It is made up of blue stone. Arikamedu की अगर हम बात करें तो Arikamedu is mentioned as Puduke in the Periplus Maris Erythrae. The site of Arikamedu provides ample evidence of the export of a variety of Indian objects like glass beads, shell, terracotta objects, and muslin clothes. A large number of Mediterranean amphora jars, roulated ware, and sigillata have been unearthed in the Arikamedu. According to UNESCO, Arikamedu is the only site in India that has yielded pottery with inscriptions in at least four different languages: Prakrit, Tamil, Old Sinhalese, and Latin. नेक्स्ट अगर ट्रेड एंड इंडियन आर्ट की अगर हम बात करें तो several aspects of trade boats voyages caravans and mode of traveling are depicted in ancient Indian art sculpture and painting. Boats have been represented on the potsherds and seals of Indus Valley civilization. Ship has also been represented in the Bharut relief, bas bas relief. Representations of boats have been found in bas relief of Sanchi and Amravati. Ship has also been found in terracotta seals of Gupta period. In cave 17 of Ajanta cave, a voyage to Sri Lanka has been represented. A ship is represented with a bow and stern of the ship was wrapped in cave 2 in Ajanta. Markets, shops, and storage places have been represented in Bharuch reliefs. Representations of bullock carts and contemporary vehicles appeared in bas reliefs of Mathura, Goli. Next is trade and commerce under Delhi Sultanate. Before the coming of the Sultanate Empire, the urban economy was on a low ebb. Towns were fewer in number and smaller in size. But this scenario changed rapidly with the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. The archaeological and numismatic evidence endorses the growth of towns and trade activities. Had Muhammad Habib had postulated the theory of urban revolution, which indicated this resurgence. Most of the 13th century towns were इक्ता headquarters. अब इक्ता सिस्टम किसने इंट्रोड्यूस किया था? तो इल्तुतमिश ने. ये क्वेश्चन यूपीपीसीएस 2010 में पूछा गया है एंड सिस्टम के बारे में कि ये सिस्टम क्या है ये भी यूपीपीसीएस 2019 में पूछा गया है. So the revenue was collected in cash from the peasants and they were forced to sell their produce at the side of the field. The urban craft manufacturing got an impetus with the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. Urban manufacturers received new technological devices that reached India with the invaders. The Bengal ports had commercial relations with China and Malacca. Bengal imported salt from Hormuz and seashells from Maldivian archipelago. Archipelago. Sindh had a well-known port, Daibul. It had strong trade relations with Persian Gulf ports. The Khalji annexation of Gujarat amplified trade activities between Delhi Sultanate and Persian Gulf and this Red Sea because Gujarat was connected with both the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. Sindh, Gujarat, Malabar, Coromandel, and Bengal coast furnish opportunities for exchange of regional products. Multan was a significant trade center for overland trade. India was connected to Afghanistan, Persia, and Central Asia through the Multan Quetta route. The major items of import were horses, gold, silver, etc. Brocade and silk were imported from Alexandria, China, and Iraq. The Sultanate primarily exported textiles and grain. The Persian Gulf regions heavily depended on India for their staple food supply. Slaves were imported to Central Asia and indigo to Persia exported to Central Asia and indigo to Persia. Two types of commercial classes की अगर हम बात करें जो mention है in different sources of reign of Delhi Sultanate are the Karwanis, the Nayaks and Multanis. The Karwanis used to carry grains and moved together in large numbers. The other group of merchants was the Multanis. They were rich and engaged in usury, loan sharking, and commerce. The Sarafs were another mercantile group. They tested the metallic purity of the indigenous and foreign coins and set up exchange ratio. The Sarafs issued bill of exchange or hundi. This term is very important. This has been asked in CSC 2020. So please note this down. Highlight कर लीजिए इसको. This is very important. This question can be repeated. Mughal trade. The Mughals built their empire, augmenting its production capacity and using India's resources. They developed a trade system in the Indian Ocean. Potent trade relations between Western Europe and the Mughal Empire started from the beginning of the 17th century. The Mughal trade in India was implemented mainly on the coast. Standard coins and fixed weights were issued, and they facilitated trade and commerce. Several new cities were established, and these cities became the center of trade and commercial activities. Before the advent of the Europeans, the main buyers of Indian cotton textiles were Mughals, Khorasanis, and Iraqis. They exported them to Central Asia and Persia. The main types of Indian cotton fabrics were Samanis, Calico, Khairabadi, Daryabadi, and Amberti. Printed cotton textiles, chintz, were the most favorite item of export. Saltpeter was one of the major ingredients for making gunpowder that was much in demand in the Europe in the 17th century. Bihar was the most important supplier of it. Supplier of what? Supplier of saltpeter. और ये क्वेश्चन बीपीएससी 1995 में पूछा जा चुका है कि saltpeter का ग्रेटेस्ट सप्लायर कौन था. Indigo was a blue dye, नील जिसको बोलते हैं हम हिंदी में, was produced in the northern India prior to the supply to Europe. Large volumes of indigo was exported to the Persian Gulf from Gujarat. उरायूर एन इम्पोर्टेंट ट्रेड सेंटर ऑफ कॉटन. ये आपका बीपीएससी 1994 का क्वेश्चन है और ये यहाँ पे लिखा नहीं हुआ था, तो मैंने सोचा यहाँ पे ये नोट करना इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाता है. Some of the inland caravan routes were Agra to Delhi route connected to Kabul, Burhanpur to Agra connected to Surat, and Agra to Patna route connected to Bengal. The most frequented overland caravan commercial route during the medieval period was the Great Silk Route. Mughal India developed a large number of shipbuilding industry which was centered in the Bengal province. Akbar played a key role in developing Bengal as a prosperous province. Next is Vedana. Putta Vedana was the center of trade in the ancient India. It refers to a city where all kinds of wares are weighted and interchanged. The term literally means a commercial center where trade used to break Bhidana, the lid or seal puta of their merchandise. The term is mentioned in the depiction of commerce at a pentha in Yasas Tilaka Kampu, written by Somadeva Suri. तो कौन सी बुक है किसने लिखा है दिस इज ऑलवेज इंपॉर्टेंट तो अंडरलाइन करके रखें एंड सेवरल अदर टेक्स्ट द टर्म इज ऑल्सो मेंशन्ड इज महापरिनिर्वाणा सुतांता ऑफ विनय पिटका. तो दिस इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट कि ये किसका पार्ट है विनय पिटका का पार्ट है. राजा श्रेष्ठी in early Indian society, Shreshthi was usually a merchant of immense wealth. Raja Shreshthi was the royal merchant who was closely associated with the king. During the Mauryan Empire, royal goods were traded through different channels under certain conditions. Shreshthi underwent a significant change under the Mauryan Empire. Several Raja Shreshthi were associated with the Chola and Hoysala court. Some significant terms associated with shipping. प्रवाहना ये कोस्टल क्राफ्ट को बोलते थे. विहित्रा एंड यानापत्र सी गोइंग वेसल को बोलते हैं. नियामका कैप्टन ऑफ वेसल. कोपस्तंभ मास्ट एंड नौवितका ये शिप ओनिंग मर्चेंट. The text Yukti Kalpataru of Bhoj narrated four kinds of vessel made of four types of woods from Brahmana Kshatriya for Brahmana Kshatriya Vaishya and Shudras. Mandapikas in the early medieval India. The Mandapikas have been mentioned in several epigraphic records as wholesome markets, exchange centers, and centers of commercial toll collection. They were situated in major urban commercial centers like Bihari, Siyadoni. The Mandapikas are mentioned in the Bayana inscription of Bharatpur. The Lekha Paddhati document enlisted different officers for revenue collection at Mandapikas. Mandavi, officer exchange, Pathakiyas, collected record cess, Upari Hindiyas, tax inspectors. Paintha. Paintha was the center of trade in ancient Deccan, 600 to 1300 AD. In many kingdoms, Paintha has been described as a center slash unit of local administration. The existence of Paintha has also been found in central and western India. According to Somadeva Suri, Paintha also generated tolls and customs. Next is trade activities in ancient Bengal. There were considerable commercial activities in Vanga, Central Dialectic Bengal, and Samatata, Chittagong, Komila, etc. of Bangladesh regions of ancient Bengal. Flourishing agrarian economy is highlighted in many Kharoshti Brahmi inscriptions. Cotton garments and textile were extremely important products in this region. Horses were exported from Bengal by Trapaka types of ships. Other commercial products included spices and Gangetic muslins. Uh, Chandraketugarh, situated on the banks of river Vidyadhari, was a major port for coastal and long distance trade. The ancient port Tamralipta was bound by the Bay of Bengal in the south, river Rupnarayan in the east, and river Suvarnarekha in the west. The Sanskrit word Tamralipta means full of copper. Xuanzang या फिर Hyunzang visited Tamralipta in 1639 AD. Ancient Bengal coast had trade activities and regular contact with the Roman traders. Samband Ariyaka was the place where items were sorted on warehousing or warehousing facilities were available. Novartaka was the head of the Royal Navy and Aradhana Uvataka was the officer junior to Novataka. In Dasa Kumara Charita of Dandin, तो ये बुक किसने लिखी है? Dandin ने लिखी है. Sea-going vessels from Tamralipta are mentioned. There are frequent references of coconut as a product in the medieval inscriptions of Bengal. Maritime trade in ancient Gujarat. Several factors like long coastline, port, and famed textile products created favorable conditions for coastal, riverine, inland, and overland trade activities in ancient Gujarat. Ancient Gujarat was also famous for some commercial crops. The Lothal port flourished during the Harappan civilization. Bharukach port was prosperous during the Kshatrapa era. It was a gateway for trade through both land and waters. Greek and Latin texts mention trade activities between the Roman Empire and the Bharukach port. During the 3rd century BC to 4th century AD, several ports existed along the coastline of Gujarat like Nani Rayan, Dwarka, Vallabhi, and Hatab. According to the Lekha Paddhati, the use of hundi was widespread in Gujarat and the bill of exchange had to be encashed within 15 days from the date of issuance. तो हुंडी किसको बोलते हैं? बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज को बोलते हैं. PYQ है, इंपॉर्टेंट है. The Raja Hundika or Royal Will of Exchange is also mentioned in Lake Paddhati. Hundi emerged as an alternative of mode of monetary transaction. तो राजा हुंडी का कैन ऑल्सो बी आस्क्ड और इसको रॉयल बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज भी कहते हैं. Prominent ancient ports of India. The naval trade with various countries during the ancient and medieval times played a great role in the spread of Indian culture abroad. The detailed account of the ports in ancient India can be found from the books Periplus of Erythraean Sea and Geographia. During Mauryan rule, the Navadhyaksh, that is superintendent of shipping, used to look after shipping administration. The coins of the last Satvahana king, Yajnashri Satkarni, contained the figure of ships, probably indicating the naval strength of the dynasty. Let us now look at an illustrative list of prominent ports in ancient times. तो सबसे पहले है लोथल. लोथल कहाँ है? गुजरात में है. नियर प्रेजेंट डे अहमदाबाद। ये इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन का पार्ट है 2400 BC। और एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ कॉपर, हार्डवुड्स, आइवरी, पर्ल्स, कार्नेलियन एंड गोल्ड टू मेसोपोटामिया एंड टिम्बर वुड एंड लापिस lazuli to Sumeria. Next is the Bari Gaza, present day Bharuch in Gujarat. 3rd century BC onwards, major trade center of Roman trade under Western satraps. Spice and silk route with Arab countries, plundered twice in the 7th century but researched quickly. Import of rice, wheat, rice, sesame oil, uh, cotton and clothes. Next is Muziris. ये मलाबार कोस्ट केरला का पार्ट है, केरला में है। और कोची के पास है। 1st century BC onwards, Chera kingdom mentioned in Sangam literature, export of spices, semi-precious stones such as beryl, pearls, diamonds, sapphires, ivory, Chinese silk, Gangetic spikenard and tortoise shells to Persia, Rome, Greece and Egypt. नेक्स्ट इज कोरकाई। अब ये पोर्ट के बारे में पूछा गया है CSE 2023 में, तो दिस बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। तमिलनाडु में है और अर्ली पांड्यन किंगडम का पार्ट था। Well-known center of pearl fishery and finds mentioned in Sangam literature. Next is Puhar, also known as Kaveri Pumpattinam, Tamil Nadu, at the mouth of Kaveri River, early Chola dynasty, 400 BC to 200 BC. Import of various articles mentioned in Sila Padikaram. Next is Puduke, present day Arika Medu, near Puducherry, 2nd century BC to 8th century AD. Greek trading port to trade with Rome. Items of export included gems, pearls, and spices and silk. Import of wine was prevalent. Next is Barbaricon. ये कराची पाकिस्तान के पास है। Parthians and Scythians. Import of linens, topaz, coral, storax, frankincense, vessels of glass, silver and gold plate, and wine. Exports included turquoise, lapis lazuli, ceramic skins, cotton cloth, silk yarn, and indigo. Sonagora, Wari, Bateshwar in present-day Bangladesh, 400 to 300 BC, Mauryan dynasty. Mathematician Ptolemy mentioned about Sonagora in the book Geographia. तो Ptolemy ने क्या लिखा था? Geographia लिखा था. This is also important. Mysolia or Masulipatanam, Machilipatnam, Andhra Pradesh, from the 3rd century BC onwards during the Satavahanas' reign. So, muslin clothes were traded by ancient Greeks, principal seaport of Golconda Kingdom from the 15th century to 17th century. Next is Tamralipti, present day Tamluk, West Bengal, Mauryan dynasty. Exit point of Mauryan trade route from the south and the southeast. A Dudh Pani rock inscription of Uday Mana of 8th century AD contains the last record of Tamralipti as the port of ancient South Asia. Greek geographer Ptolemy mentioned about Tamralipti in his book Geographia. Chinese pilgrim Hyun Sam calls the town Tamolithi. He was visited by Xuanzang. It was visited by Xuanzang, that is Hyun Sang, in 639 AD. Farhian stayed here for 2 years. कोलूर की अगर हम बात करें तो ये गंजम डिस्ट्रिक्ट उड़ीसा में है। 2nd century AD, कलिंगा डायनेस्टी। Place of voyage to Southeast Asia and China and trade of pottery. It was mentioned by Ptolemy and Xuanzang Hunsang in the 2nd and 7th century AD, respectively. So this concludes our chapter 15, which was about trades and traders. And we'll start the next chapter in the next lecture. Till then, keep watching Ghatna Sutra and keep studying. मिलते हैं next lecture में. Till then, bye.